What's up, everyone? This is Jason Foster, Senior Baseball Editor at Sporting News.
And I'm Ryan Fagan, Senior Baseball Writer.
And this is Opening Day, the show where we open old packs of baseball cards and give them to you for free.
All right, we've got a box of 1987 Donruss here. We're going to bust through.
Hopefully we will get at least one Mark McGwire rated rookie or a Bo Jackson.
I'm looking for Bo. All right, let's do it. Chris Brown to start off with. Little Roberto Clemente puzzle. It's Brewers heavy so far.
Getting a checklist was always a huge disappointment.
I gotta say, it's not much of a first pack.
Unless you're a Brewers fan.
Yeah, the Eck in a Cubs uniform. Another checklist. I swear there were good cards in this box. Doug Drabek looked weird not in a Pirates uniform, doesn't he?
Yeah.
There we go. There's a rated rookie.
Devon White.
Gary Templeton. When he was chosen for an All-Star game one time, and he said, "If I'm not starting, I ain't departing." That was his famous line. He got a lot of mustaches in the mid-'80s, late '80s.
Back in the late 90s when McGwire and Sosa were going on their home run binge, I bought a couple boxes of these and I pulled, I think it was 4 McGwire rookies, which at the time were worth about 25 bucks a piece. Now they're just, you know, a few bucks. But they're still fun to get.
See, here's the one problem with the 87 Donruss was often the centering. It was a great Wade Boggs card, but as you can see, it's way off to the left.
That was an issue with a lot of mid to late 80s Donruss and probably the other companies too, was the centering was very hit or miss.
Rob Deere, Mr. 3 True Outcomes.
Right. He hit 40 homers and bat 180.
This first full year hit 232 with 33 homers and 179 strikeouts. God bless him.
Was that Cal Daniels?
Cal Daniels.
A quick Cal Daniels story. First game I ever saw in person, Reds at Braves, June 20th, 1987. Cal Daniels led off the game with a homer. I'll always remember that.
Goose. I wonder if he was so salty back then when he was a Padres.
That's actually pretty good centering on that card.
That's not bad. It's a little bit to the right.
The thing with baseball cards, even today, is you can get lots of good players, even all-star players, but their cards might not be worth much because, you know, nobody wants them, or they made too many, or whatever. Back in the 80s, it was they made too many. Tom Seaver. People forget that Seaver played through 86. Who's that?
Eric Bell didn't quite reach the levels of other rated rookies in this set. Kevin Brown looks so young. He was a hell of a pitcher for a long time. Andy Darwin. That is not a flattering drawing of Mike Scott.
Not at all. One kind of notable / oddity with the Ruben Sierra. Now, back in '87, that card would have been probably $2 or $3 in the good old Beckett price guide. Roger Clemens.
It's a good pack.
Yeah.
I've seen 3 cards and it's Clemens and Sierra.
What I started to say, hold that card for a second. No, the Pirates one. The 87 sets were a little bit weird because 87 was the first year that several teams changed uniforms. And so all the pictures would have been taken in 86. So you had the Pirates with the pillbox hat, and a few minutes ago we saw one with the yellow helmet. You had the Braves still wearing the powder blue America's team jerseys. There were a couple of other teams, I think, who had some variations that changed in 87. The White Sox are another one. So it's weird with these 87 sets seeing these 86 pictures because the uniforms all changed.
I did not know that. Steve Carlton, right after the Tom Seaver, another all-time great. See, the Donruss, whereas Topps would show you the entire career and they'd get the print microscopic so you couldn't see. Donruss only went the previous 5 years, so it looked like Steve Carlton had pitched the same amount of years as guys who were.
And it wasn't his best career stretch. So if you were new to cards and looked at Steve Carlton's numbers,
5.10 ERA,
you'd be like, he's not that good. Who was that?
Larry
Anderson, now a broadcaster.
Tito Landrum. I grew up in St. Louis. I loved Tito Landrum. Number 21, I believe. Great fourth outfielder. As a fisherman, I still love this guy's name. Ruben Sierra. I remember Beckett had a cover story with Ruben Sierra after he lost out to the MVP to Robin Yount, and the headline was "Plenty of Time to Shine," saying Sierra would have lots of time to win MVPs. It didn't happen.
I believe he made the final out of the 2004 ALCS when the Red Sox overcame the Yankees.
Something good to be known for.
Yeah. Roger McDowell, the second spitter.
The second one of the great Seinfeld episodes ever. Ron Darling. We've had two Greg Walkers now, the Greg Walker Diamond King and the regular one. Hojo.
He was a 30-30 guy in 87, actually. There were several that year, but back when 30-30 was a big deal, yeah, he was a 30-30 guy.
Second Neil Allen we've already got.
Second Dan Petrie.
Leon Durham.
The Bull.
Mr. Winfield.
There's another yellow Pirates hat.
Not one of the Allman Brothers.
No.
Well, probably an Allman Brother, but not
right.
the Allman Brothers. Ozzy. The man made himself into a good hitter. Very good hitter, actually. Which is a far cry from what he was when he came up with the Padres.
Nick Osaski. His career was ended early by, he developed vertigo.
That's right.
In the 1990 season, and he was on the Braves roster in 91 briefly, but he never played after 1990. Terry Steinbeck, rated rookie. That was worth something for a while, a couple dollars.
We had that one year he hit 37 home runs.
Osaski?
No. Steinbeck.
Oh, Steinbeck, yeah.
Yeah. Back-to-back rated rookies, and neither of them worth anything.
Glenn Davis. He was another one who seemed to be borderlining on superstardom, and he had some good years, but he
was a good solid 25-30 home run guy, but he never had that.
Once he went to Baltimore, he kind of
that
faded
didn't work out
out
so well. Zane Smith. I love that you still got the mesh caps for the official MLB.
Those were big in spring training in the 80s, like the kind you could get at a gas station.
One of these guys was more intimidating looking than the other. Another receiver. We're running through similar cards here. Darryl Porter. John Kruk. He's a guy whose Hall of Fame credentials look much better than what he's been given credit for. Some of these guys I hardly remember. I'd always go through the boxes one corner at a time. Some people would go evenly all the way down. Nah.
One other thing about the 87 sets was 87 was pretty much the last year before everything got super mass produced. And a lot of people kind of got disgruntled with the industry with the 88 sets, but 87 was kind of the last of the original, big three, Topps, Fleer, and Donruss. 87 was like the last year where there were cards that people wanted. And, there were sets after that here and there, most notably Upper Deck in 89, but of the original three, this was the last year where the cards were really something people wanted.
All right, I got Jack Clark's story. So Jack Clark was the manager of the River City Rascals, the Frontier League team that I covered from its inception. He was the first manager. I grew up in St. Louis, so Jack Clark was kind of a monster, a hero to Cardinals fans, because he's the guy that when they had Ozzie Smith and Vince Coleman, he was the guy that could actually hit home runs. So I was a little nervous talking to him. I'm 22 years old, straight out of undergrad. And like the second game, I guess I was clearly nervous. And Jack goes, "All right, stop," in the middle of a question. He goes, "You and I, we got to go have a beer. You've got to calm down. It's just Frontier League baseball." And I always remember that. And even now, sometimes over the years when I get nervous, it's just baseball. Just relax. So I always thank Jack Clark for that. That's the least intimidating player picture in the history of baseball cards.
Oh, man.
This is the 86 Red Sox
Game 6.
Game 6 pack right there. All right, which one should I go for?
Just keep right there.
All right. Darryl Strawberry. Another Kirk McCaskill. Ooh, Paul Molitor. Dave Martinez, now the manager of the Washington Nationals. He doesn't look much older now.
No.
The man's aged gracefully. Don Sutton. 300-game winner.
I believe he won his 300th game in 86, which would have been the year that picture was taken.
Yeah, 15 wins, got to 310 by the end of the year.
I think it's weird that these cards are either like up-close portrait shots in spring training. Most of them look like they were in spring training, or they're action shots.
Yeah.
Crime Dog should be in the Hall of Fame. Will be soon.
He will be. He'll get there. He's not like a elite of the elite,
no.
But based on the standards that the Hall of Fame has now, he definitely belongs. Kirk Gibson. One of the best throwing arms you'll ever see from a shortstop. And it's weird that one was backwards.
Still no McGwire, still no Bo Jackson.
No Greg Maddux. No Barry Bonds. What kind of box did you buy? Terry Pendleton. I love that they put Oil Can Boyd.
Yeah.
Not Dennis. Would you have remembered that Ken Gerhardt was a rated rookie?
I don't even remember Ken Gerhardt.
Donnie Baseball.
Doyle Alexander, as everyone knows, in 87, going back to that first game I saw where Cal Daniels led off with the homer, he led off Doyle Alexander, who started that game. And then a couple months later, Alexander was traded to the Tigers for a rookie, not even a rookie, a prospect named John Smoltz, who had an okay career himself.
Fun fact, he was 65 years when this picture, 65 years old when this picture was taken. I do not remember him.
I only remember him because of that card.
Yeah, I gotta admit. Frank Viola, who is now the pitching coach for the Atlantic League team in High Point, North Carolina.
Sweet music.
Tony Gwynn. One of my all-time favorite players. Loved watching him. He was, when Steven Strasburg was coming up through college, Gwynn was his coach. And I tried to get Strasburg on the phone for something for Sporting News magazine. And he was too busy, but they said, "Do you want to talk to Tony Gwynn?" And I remember thinking, how weird is that? You'll put a baseball Hall of Famer on the phone with me, but not some kid from, well, who turned out pretty good, but...
We should point out that sometimes you have to be careful with these old wax boxes because they were not exactly tamper-proof. We trusted the person, hey, Dale Murphy. He was my all-time favorite player as a kid. Clemens. So we don't know whether this box was tampered with. We assume it was not. We hope it was not. But sometimes that happens, and that's sometimes why you don't get the McGwire rated rookie or whatever, but whatever.
It looks like he just came out of a bar fight.
Yeah, 80s cards were, and 70s cards were always good for looking at it and be like, that guy does not look like a baseball player.
Another Ozzy.
Eddie Murray.
The Hall of Famer. He had those eyes that looked like they were fake, almost. I always remember him for that. Will Clark.
That was another card that was a solid $1.50 in the late 80s.
Yeah. Jamie Moyer, who pitched another 65 years after this.
He wore number 49, and he played for 49 years.
Bobby Dernier. Kevin Brown.
Did you ever actually complete the puzzle?
Oh, yeah.
I never even bothered. I didn't care about the puzzle at all.
I wanted to. Dwight Gooden. Doc. He was so... When he pitched against your team, it was a helpless feeling when he was at his prime. He was so good. Wally Backman. Danny Tartavel. There was a time when he was one of the best power hitters in baseball.
Also had a guest appearance on Seinfeld.
That's right. Steve Trout. Not to be confused with Mike Trout. I actually looked this up before we opened this. His career earnings... Trout just signed that $430 million deal. His career earnings were $3.8 million. Which still, $3.8 million is not bad, but not quite $430 million. David Cone.
Not bad. See, that guy does not look like a baseball player. Ken Phelps. I also think of Seinfeld when I think of Ken Phelps.
Ken Phelps. We traded Jay Buhner for him.
Tracy Jones, he hit the second homer, and after Cal Daniels, they went off back to back, and
how do you
that
remember
first
all
game?
this?
Man, it was a big deal. Big deal for me personally.
Spike Owen. It's a great baseball name. David Cohn. He's another guy like Dave Steve who had a career that has better Hall of Fame credentials, I think, than people get. I don't think he's not quite there, but he was a really good pitcher for a long time. Great pitcher sometimes. I don't like that this is pushed down like that.
Yeah.
Bob Force story real quick. He lived next door to one of my grandma's good friends, and he would mow the front yard for her, just out of the goodness of his heart. Nice guy. All right, we're through 2 full sides. No McGwire, no Bonds, no Bo, no Maddox. It's not a great start.
No. There we go.
Barry Bonds.
That's decently centered, too.
Yeah, it's not bad. A little bit of a ding right there. Dave Kingman. A lot of 30 home run seasons in there. Oh, did you know Weird Al Yankovic had a card? Mickey Hatcher. Feels weird not to see him in a Dodgers uniform. Vita Blue. Bobby Bonilla, Bonds of Bonilla in back-to-back packs. I was gonna make a hello Newman joke, but I couldn't think of the right way to do it. There's your boy.
Yep.
Barry Larkin. All right, we're starting to get better cards here.
Yeah.
Bonds and Larkin, Bonilla in a couple packs. Kevin Mitchell. He looks very surprised at the pictures being taken right there. Another Ozzy. Buddy Biancalana.
There we go.
There we go. Centering's pretty good. Somebody's going to get this card.
Yeah, and the Bonds card.
And the Bonds card.
Because if you forgot or didn't listen at the intro, shame on you, but also, we will give away all the good cards we get for free.
I see the moral of the story is to always take from the upper right-hand corner.
True.
Before Darren Dalton became good later in his career, buddy of mine, Trey, always referred to him as the ultimate common because he was a good player, but his cards were never worth anything. So Darren Dalton was the ultimate common for us. And Dwight Evans, another Hall of Fame worthy career. Mitch looked so young and innocent back then, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's like the third Dave Steve we've gotten.
I always think it's weird how some players, and it's usually the common players, but you can also get it with a guy like Steve. You'll buy a box and you'll get like 10 cards of some random guy, and you'll get one McGwire, which is weird because when they would have produced this set, McGwire had not done anything yet, because his rookie year was 87. He had a cup of coffee in 86, but he was definitely not Mark McGwire yet.
Right.
So it would be weird that they would only produce a limited number of McGwires and, like, you know, seemingly unlimited versions of others.
Vince Coleman's first 2 years, 110 and 107 stolen bases.
Yeah.
You may never see that again.
One of those years, I can't remember which one it is, but he had an on-base percentage of 301, I think, and he still stole more than 100 bases.
Which is not on the 1987
Right.
Donruss. No OPS or on-base percentage back then.
George Order. Sorry, Cardinals fans.
He was out. Don Baylor.
See, like, we've gotten like 5 Tom Brownings, I feel like.
Yes. It's the first 2 Clyburn, though.
Oh, well, there we go.
Mike Scioscia. Mickey Templeton. Another Frank Viola. His eyes are so washed out in that picture. That's not a good image. Tony Gwynn. Joaquin Andujar. When he pitched for the Cardinals, Whitey Herzog always called him the one tough Dominican.
He also had that famous saying of, you can sum baseball up in one word. You never know.
You never know, yeah. But he made it in one. Seriously, Weird Al Yankovic, right? Are we sure that's not him? He wasn't doing a bit?
The ageless one.
Yeah, he played another 62 years.
A lot of these photos were taken at Dodger Stadium.
I got Greg Matthews' autograph one time when I was a kid. It was a big deal.
Nice.
It shouldn't have been, but it was.
When you're a kid, any autograph is a big deal.
Yes. I used to look through the cards of the people I didn't know and see if there was only 1 year that meant they were a rookie, and I pulled them out and put them in their own package.
As a kid, that's a very good way to approach it.
Yes. Eric Davis. If he would have stayed healthy, he would have not only been a Hall of Famer, I really do believe this, not only a Hall of Famer, but he would have been like an elite of the elite Hall of Famers.
He was another 30-30 guy, and I think 1 year, it might have been 87, he hit more than 30 homers and stole 80 bases.
86, 27 homers and 80 stolen bases. Can you imagine anyone doing that now?
No.
No. Saves, really good. Kittle, I believe, has a company out of Chicago now that makes benches out of old bats.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got a promo email from them a couple years ago. Another Will Clark. Not the rated rookie we're looking for.
No. There we go. There was a time when that would have been something special.
Yeah, maybe like $2.
Yeah.
Maybe $2.50.
Darrell Evans, it's funny, on his 85 Donruss, on the back, it had him hitting 80 home runs 1 year, which was a typo that was never corrected.
That would have been a record.
Yeah.
Mike Davis drew the walk that led to the Kirk Gibson home run. Not from the Doors.
No.
Reggie Jackson.
87 was his last season, but he was with the A's.
Should have told them. Should have told Donruss. All right, last one in this row.
Joe Hesketh. I remember Joe Hesketh I watched a lot of Braves games growing up, and Joe Hesketh was really hard for Don Sutton to say as an announcer. I remember he would trip over it and would later joke about it in subsequent years.
He had a good rookie year. 2.49 ERA. There's a time Wally Joyner. Was his rookie 80?
His rookie card was 86.
86, yeah. Solid rookie year, 22 homers, 290 average. All right. Last column. We still need what? Bo Jackson
And Maddox.
The two big ones. Second back-to-back Viola Gwen combo.
Yeah, it's weird because sometimes you can tell there's clearly a sequence that the cards were packaged in. But it's not always, it doesn't hold true throughout the whole pack, usually.
It used to, in Topps, especially 87 Topps, you'd get packs that would be exactly the same. But yeah, here it only seems to be a couple at a time.
Did anyone ever use a checklist? I never did.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, because I always like to put the sets together, and I would actually, check the little boxes. I was a dork like that. BIP, in quotes. Why didn't Oil Can Boyd get quote marks?
He was established.
Just Leon BIP Roberts.
Nuxie. In 87, he started out with the Indians, got released, signed briefly with the Blue Jays, got released quickly, and signed for one last day with the Braves.
You wrote all about that, didn't you?
I did write all about that. Google Phil Necro's last game, and you'll find that story.
Another Will Clark. Gotta love that. Bruce Fields.
Never heard of him.
I would get so excited when you see that rated rookie, because back in 87, you didn't really know about everybody.
And as a kid, you had to take the company's word for it.
You trusted.
But like they wouldn't put that on there if he wasn't
right,
good.
if he wasn't rated for something. No.
King Griffey, Sr.
Tony Pena. He kind of changed the way catchers approached the game. Look at that. I mean, he's playing 147, 150 games. Catchers don't do that anymore. The way he'd sit there with that one leg out, fired the ball down to first base to backpick guys. Good stuff. Another good one.
We've gotten a lot of Ozzie Virgils.
Yes.
Who, incidentally, in 87 was an All-Star, Ozzie Virgil. And in the All-Star game that year, he scored the only run of the game because it was a 1-0 final in 13 on a Tim Raines RBI triple, and Ozzie Virgil scored the run.
Did Raines catch him? Almost.
Probably.
Probably so.
Fisk.
All right, I'm not feeling great about our chances of getting a Bo Jackson.
Well,
Our Greg Maddux and his mustache.
and bobblehead Bo sitting off to the side. He can't even look. He's looking away.
I know, he's disappointed now.
I will say this. Though we haven't found as many of the cards we wanted, we have definitely gotten some good players. A lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of All-Stars.
Yep. A lot of rated rookies who didn't turn out into much. Not the greatest mustache in the world.
Right. And again, that was always the trick with baseball cards, again, was why are you collecting? Are you collecting to get a valuable card, or are you collecting to get your favorite players? If you wanted just your favorite players, then just about any pack of cards would give you something. But if you were in it for money or collectability, even a box, as you can see, could stress you out a little bit.
I Googled 1987, or searched 1987 Donruss on eBay before we started opening this. Somebody had graded this card, a PSA 10. So they spent, what, $15, $20 to grade a card and then put it on eBay for 99 cents? I don't understand people sometimes.
I don't think they took economics. Lonnie Smith.
Lonnie Smith. What was his nickname? Skates?
Skates,
Yeah.
because he had such horrible defense. And when we get to the card, I will share my favorite Lonnie Smith factoid.
We'll get there quick because there's not a lot here. Jack Morris. All right.
So Lonnie Smith, in 1989, he led the National League with 8.8 WAR. And that's shocking on its own, because his previous high had been like 6 in the early 80s. But what's shocking about it is he had something like 23 defensive run saved that year, which was weird because he was not known for defense. He was known for bad defense, but in 89 he put it all together.
I mean, look at these stolen base totals. 68, 43, 50, 52. Even 26 in a bad year. 26 would put him in top 10 in the AL this year. Close to it. Danny Cox. All right, we're down to like Bob Tewksbury. A couple years later with the Cardinals, he had almost as many wins as he did walks in one year, which is his claim to fame. All right, 2 packs left. What do you think we're gonna get? Are we gonna get a Bo or a Maddox?
It's not looking good.
It is not looking good. Especially when we've seen these cards before.
Yeah, several times. That's a good Boggs. Well, it's about the same as the first one.
Centered. All right,
It's down to 1.
last pack. Harold Reynolds, HR, Mr. MLB Network himself. We've seen like 5 Matt Young, so this is not looking good. Another Ozzy though. Ricky Henderson was the first. When I was to the end of the box, I'd always go through the last pack so slowly because I wanted to hope that I could will the cards that I wanted to be there. Yeah, when the last cards was a checklist, that was even so disappointing. And that's it. No Bo, no Maddox.
But we've still got cool stuff to give away, and these are a few of the cards you could win. If you want a chance to win, follow us on Twitter and retweet this video, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, and comment with the magic words "Rated Rookie" to let us know you stuck around for the whole video.